What's up, landlords? You got to check this video out. I just found it and I wanted to share it and talk it through, maybe point out some good things and some bad things. Basically, this guy took matters into his own hands and kicked out squatters. He said he squatted the squatters. It's kind of funny, but check out this video. Here he is. He's just a handyman guy, and this is his channel about handyman stuff. But I somehow come across it, and it's got a lot of attention. I liked it, and I went through the comments, at least some of them. There's so many comments. It's interesting. So I spent some time making some notes and wanting to talk it through because it makes me think. He's in California, so it's even worse, the legal system there with the rights the squatters have and everything. But it makes me think that if the government is not careful, more and more people are going to take matters in their own hands like this. Because if you read some of the comments on his video, I'll share his link, you'll see a bunch of other people saying, oh, I had similar experience, or my dad did this, or, you know, my parent passed away and then this happened. And he even made jokes about it, that the realtors wanted to hire him for his services because this happens a lot. Squatters and like professional tenants are trying to game the system. I don't know. Let's just watch it and maybe I'll pause it along the way and we'll just talk it through. So here he is.
This is Flash from the United Handyman Association with Handyman Answers. So this video is about how I got kicked squatters out of my mom's house in a matter of hours without the support of law enforcement or the legal system. But first, I just wanted to say, this channel is about handyman businesses, supporting businesses, and fighting for respect and recognition for the skilled tradesmen. So if you are a handyman, or you know a handyman, or you hire a handyman, and you think that the handyman should be recognized as a skilled professional, please subscribe and help me spread that word. And if you're a handyman, then become a member. You can register for free at the UHA. That's the UHA.org. So anyway, so basically, I'm going to show you video and pictures of the incident, but I'm going to give you a little background. So basically, my father had passed away, and my mom couldn't be there on her own, so there was a vacant house, and we were going back and forth, renting, selling, and we tried to rent it. This individual reached out to us to rent it. She's a prison guard, and she reached out, and basically she didn't have any money, didn't have any credit, wanted to just like trade repairs for whatever, and so we didn't approve her. Well, apparently she reached out because she was moving or something already like in the process. So she ended up having the truck of furniture and everything literally moved into the house, and she said that it was delivered by accident and she was getting rid of it. Well, started hearing from realtors that were going there trying to list the house, saying that, hey, there's this lady and people like in the house, and a house full of furniture.
Okay, so I just want to stop it there. First, I want to say I'm not making fun of anybody. I actually commend this guy for putting himself out there and his struggles so we can learn from him. Mistakes are a good thing. For me, I kind of, explore life and make a bunch of mistakes and adapt and overcome. That's kind of how I've been able to progress in life. I've never been gifted to be like, I don't make mistakes, and I'm kind of like, so good that I don't make mistakes. I actually make a lot of mistakes, and that's how I learn. So I'm actually happy this guy put this out here. So first, he talks about how the lady had no money, no credit, and then she said the stuff accidentally got delivered, and then somehow it gets into the house. So my question is, how the heck did she get access to the house? And also, no money, no credit. She should have been, you shouldn't even been speaking to her at all. That goes into your pre-screening criteria. So if you have pre-screening criteria in steps, like a pre-leasing application, it can weed out people like this where you never end up communicating with them and they can't get in contact with you. But I don't know. So I'm just thinking there's some actually, I think in his description, he might have actually said how she got in. Breaking in the back door. So yeah, that's right. So she broke in to get into the back door. But it also goes back to not letting the tenant rush you. So it's a red flag when tenants are like, hey, I got to move in quick, or I got stuff getting delivered and all that mess. So that's just me talking out at least this part so far. So let's keep going.
There's nothing we can do. Then I started getting, reports from neighbors, and they were like describing her, and they were saying, yeah, they're here, lights are on at night, and so basically I had to take a trip and go, so what I first started doing is calling the police. I called the sheriff's department. They responded. They said that they're like, well, there's, somebody in the house. I said, yeah, they don't belong in the house. There's a house full of furniture and there's someone in the house. There's nothing we can do. We can't enter. There's nothing we can do. So I went back and forth with the sheriff's department, and they, basically said, I'm sorry, but we can't enter the house and it looks like they're living there. So you need to go through the courts. So at the end of this video, I will bring the sheriff's department back into this because I visited them after this and actually talked to the sheriff. But so basically, the prep work to do this, I'll go into and I'll kind of describe each thing before I show you videos and pictures. But the first thing I did was I wanted to show legal cause for me since the house wasn't in my name. So we wrote up a lease agreement between my mom and I stating that I was a legal resident. So me being the legal tenant for the house, all I needed to do at that point was do the same thing they did and occupy the house. So, I've heard so many stories about people that, have gone through like major things with the courts and it takes so long and it just, and squatters' rights. So I just kind of figured out how I could do it without that delay, without all those problems. So if they could take a house, then I could take a house. So if they're the squatter and they have rights, well, then if I become the squatter on a squatter, then I should have rights, right? So I printed out lease agreement. My mom signed, I signed, legal binding agreement saying that I'm the legal tenant of the house. Okay. So now I load up my Jeep. I take firearm just in case. I'm assuming it's the prison guard that's there, but I don't know for sure. And I pack up my dog and we go on.
Okay, so I just want to point out that generating the lease is kind of smart, but after the fact and him making the video, it's kind of fraudulent because you're backdating it, and that would have been something good to have before all this happened, I would think. And also the firearm and the dog. I don't know if I would be putting that in a video, preemptively, talking about how you're going there with a gun. If you just happen to carry concealed when you got your permit and everything on a regular basis and you just bring your dog in places, like no harm, no foul. But this is after the fact and he's talking it through. Maybe he, wouldn't advertise this up in advance. Yes, she's a jailer. And you do have to wonder that some squatters could get violent. This is a lady that we're talking about. So maybe, and also she was a jailer, so maybe he kind of knew that she had a job and he was thinking in the back of his head he could always go to her department and talk to her supervisor and explain what's going on. So I don't know, we'll go from there.
And I think it was like a 12-hour drive, and it was up in Northern California. And so I get there, and I get there at like 4 a.m. And I pull up, and there's cars in the driveway. And so I kind of stay in the city I was in. I stood out like a sore thumb. So I sit like back a few houses down the street, and I sleep in my Jeep, and I wait till morning. And about 7:30, 8 a.m., there was things happening, and cars pull out of the driveway. So about that time, I would say like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, I go to, I pull in the driveway and I figure, and I'm taking a chance that everybody's out of the house now at this point. So with everyone out of the house, I feel like I can now get in the house, but I have keys, so I don't have to break in. So I walk in, and here's the video of me walking in the house, and you'll see all the furniture and boxes and things like that.
I'll just say that it's smart that he's filming this just in case it went to court and he has proof.
Crazy, huh? Okay, so a lot of furniture, a lot of boxes. The house is completely full, and we're talking it's a 2-story house. And I didn't even go everywhere. I went. What you saw is living room and in the front bedroom. So so what I do now is I establish that yes, there's like tons of stuff in there. I was completely shocked. So what I do is I go to the local Home Depot and I get some Ring cameras, and I go and I start putting up Ring cameras, and I figured like I could monitor those for my house. So I'm installing Ring cameras, and then in the process of me installing cameras, this lady and her granddaughter pull up to the house, and they walk up to me, and we have a conversation, and here it is.
Hi, are you Flash?
Yeah.
I'm Marla. Hey. I'm really sorry about all this. I really am. It's just, it's a nightmare beyond. I mean,
the stuff is in the house. You told me that it was accidentally delivered and it was in the garage.
No, I didn't say it was in the garage. Oh, no. I never said that.
But
well,
but anyway, I mean, clearly it's been in the house for
a
long time, and I've had realtors over here telling me they can't do anything because of all this stuff, and so basically, I'm up here, I'm leaving, and it all has to be out before I leave. I've got guys scheduled to come take the stuff out later today.
One thing I noticed is she's kind of cordial, and he's very calm, and so those are good things. If you're going to approach somebody in this situation, I think it'd be a good idea to be polite, calm. And hopefully the squatter is kind and cordial as well. Even though they're kind of breaking the law, and it seems unethical. You want to be mad at them, but even though she's lying and he probably knows this, he's kind of like, okay, I'm just going with the flow. And I also noticed that he's kind of polite, not putting the camera in their face, which is, I think, good. You can see enough and hear everything. I noticed the backyard is kind of overgrown and everything, and he's talking about installing cameras, and they were trying to sell this house, maybe rent it out. So does that mean the utilities are on and they're paying for the utilities and there's Wi-Fi in the house? And why aren't they mowing the backyard and taking care of it a little bit better if they are going to be selling it, or maybe even renting it out? So just some things popping in my mind. Let's keep going.
Okay, so either you take it out or I have to take it out and put it out on the driveway until it gets picked up. But I can't leave with anything in there, or whatever's left in there is staying in there. So I'm putting cameras up in a security system, and I have to deal with this house. So it's been way too long, and I need to do something. I need to get rid of it.
I've lost my crew somewhere, and I'm trying to load them down, but we're gonna load by load take it out here.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, at this point I have no choice. I just need to.
I understand. I would be in.
I mean, I was overwhelmed by the amount of stuff when I pulled in here. When I pulled in here yesterday, I mean, I didn't expect all this. So.
Okay, well.
This has just been a nightmare all along, and
yeah, I'm sorry to have added to that. I really am. I'm sorry.
I wish we could have worked something out, but I couldn't do anything with no money.
I hear that.
So, all right. But at this point, I'm not. Clearly, I didn't call the police and press charges or anything like that. I just want it done, and then you and I need to talk about the financial inconvenience that this has caused, because I haven't been able to do anything with this house for months, because every time they come over here, they tell me that there's people here and that there's furniture in the house.
That was worded really good. After it's over, let's deal with the financial inconvenience of this, because I wasn't able to, rent it out and sell it. This guy is very personable, or he has good communication skills and stuff like that. So I don't think the average person can go do what he's doing, even though she's kind of polite and, not being super hostile. She's, apologizing and everything. Maybe it helps that I think that's her granddaughter, he said, that's there. I don't know. So I'm not advertising that this is a good thing to do, and I'm not trying to be like, hey, everybody should do this. I'm just pointing out that, this guy took matters in his own hands, and this is what's happening. And it's entertaining and informative, and I think we all can learn something from this.
So.
And who's telling you that?
The realtors.
That there's people here.
Yeah. So neighbors tell me that they see people coming in and the lights on. Someone went in and turned on the power because the power was off to the house. So neighbors have been telling me that there's been a lady and some other people, like young and old, and a mixture between female and males coming in the house at night, and the lights are on at night.
Well, that would not be
neighbors
us.
there, neighbors there, neighbors there, and neighbors
there. That would never be us.
And those are the ones that have been calling me and telling me.
Yeah.
Stuff in.
I mean, there's earbuds sitting on the table and stuff on the couches.
Well,
they went through all of those boxes have been gone through and moved. Yeah, no.
You don't know what's missing, and
so that's my fault. That is all of it. I should have paid better attention. That's beside the point. We just need to get it done and taken care of, because
so just
make the right.
Do what you can to get it out. Like I said, I mean, I have to start putting stuff in the driveway, and so that I can lock it up, because once I leave, you're not going to be able to get back in. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm trying to give you. No, but I'm saying to get your stuff. I'm saying get your stuff out. Even if you don't have something to haul it with right now, get it out. Get it out here so that I can secure the house up. That's all. That's what I'm asking. Okay, because I don't want to be the one tomorrow telling you, I'm sorry, I've got to lock it up and leave. I don't have flexibility here.
I hear you.
So that's why I'm telling you, just do everything you can to just get it out here. Okay, because then you can sit somebody here and worry about go get a truck at Home Depot for $17 or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I'm just telling you. I don't want to have this conversation tomorrow and be like, I'm sorry, I have to hit the road, and I'm, because at that point, I just have to secure the house, and I just have to go and. All right, so yeah, just do what you need to do. I'm going to be doing stuff, and just come and go and do what you need. Front doors. So she tries playing it off as in like she's just storing her stuff there, and oh my gosh, did you see that somebody's been in the house? When I already at that point had not only scoped it out, saw the same car in the driveway, but which she didn't know, but I had neighbors describing her. So when I saw her, I already knew what she looked like. The neighbors had already confirmed that she was in the house. She was there daily, nightly, and but she was trying to play it off as though like she was surprised. Oh my gosh, and they've gone through my boxes and everything else. So obviously that wasn't the case, but she didn't know what I knew. So basically, I talked to, there was tons of stuff. So I had to be prepared for her not to move out, or not be able to get the stuff out. So I saw a couple young guys across the street, big, strong guys. I walk over and I'm like, hey, do you guys need any furniture? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, look, I said, I got a house full of furniture over here that if she doesn't get this stuff out by midnight tonight, if you help me get it out, if you help me drag it out to the driveway, it's yours. You can.
No, I don't think that's smart. I don't think you can give away her belongings and stuff like that. So I think maybe he could have done better without saying that. Oh man. Oh gosh. I wouldn't do that, but of course, maybe I wouldn't do any of this crap, and I would just go through the legal process and just get my lawyer and say, hey, start the eviction process, or hopefully I could have been able to prevent this from happening through the screening.
Absolutely anything you want for free. And they're like, sure, awesome. So I already had them lined up. And then she agreed to get the stuff out. And I, flat out, it's like it's whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking, whatever you leave is mine. right? You're not going to be able to go back in the house. And I didn't want to be that guy. I was trying to be nice about it, as you could hear in the video. I just wanted it done. I just wanted them out, and I needed them out as fast as possible. So the funny thing is, she was having trouble getting somebody there to help. So at one point, and I wish I had this on video, she came over to me and she said, so you know how you said you had help? I said, yeah. She says, well, do you think they'll help me? And I laughed, and I'm like, I said, they were going to help me because I was going to give them your furniture. I said, I'm sure they'll help you, but if you're not going to give them the furniture, you'll probably have to pay them. So they get the stuff out, right? She brings in trucks and has a bunch of people, and all day long, they're taking stuff out, and you can see pictures. I've got pictures of video of like the driveway, and here you go.
Look at all this junk. All this was accidentally delivered.
Oh, look at there. Rick's handyman service just showed up. Interesting.
Okay, so in summary, I created legal, being the legal tenant. I then waited for them to vacate so then I could be the squatter. So I move into the residence basically. I put up security cameras and I let her know that, this is what I'm doing so that if you enter again, I'm going to call the police and trespassing and I'm going to have you on video. I think just the fact that I was there was enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. Depending on, how you feel about this, if you're ever in this case where there are squatters, maybe it's worth a shot to go there and have a discussion and just be there in person and see what you can do. I know people talk about cash for keys, where he's like, hey, I understand that this is an inconvenience for you guys and you're here, and she's giving excuses or whatever. Say, hey, I'll give you $100. You got to get out of here today. This should be enough to cover the gas, the U-Haul and everything. And you should not have to pay them to get out of your own house, of course, but it's a way to try to avoid the court system, especially in his state in California. So we'll just keep going.
Now I get them out. They got everything out. Did they make the midnight deadline? No, but they had everything out. I was probably 2, 3 a.m. the last time I checked the cameras, and because I was sitting there watching them on cameras and just going and check. I think it was like 2, 3 a.m. when when they were finally like completely out. They were completely out of the driveway, out of the house. I went the next day and I locked it all up, made sure cameras were working and stuff. But the other thing is, if you hire an attorney, you call the police basically they're not going to kick them out. They're going to tell you to go to courts. Then you're filing a suit. I mean, the legal process is so slow. And at some point when they're in there, you're going to feel like that they have more rights than you do. And that's how you're going to be treated. So even though it's your house and you're paying the mortgage or whatever, squatters have at some point, squatters feel like they have more rights than you. So they don't have incentive to leave until a judge tells them to, until they're actually ordered to. And that could take months, 6 months. It could take years. I don't know. I didn't want to take that chance. I heard stories, and this is the system I came up with. It's like, become the squatter on the squatter, and all their stuff is mine unless they get it out. So, maybe it doesn't work exactly as easy. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that's different than who I was, but that's how I did it, and that's what worked for me. Now, the sheriff's department. After all this was done, after I had everything secured, I drove to the sheriff's department. I went in, I asked, they let me talk to the actual sheriff. It was a small town. And I'm sitting in his office and I said, look, here's the story. This is what's going on. I said, this is what happened. I was honest. I said, I called your deputies. I called you guys, and your deputies would not go in there. I didn't know why. I didn't know if it was because they knew her. I didn't know what the situation was other than them saying, well, somebody's in there, so we can't do anything, which is absolutely idiotic. That I'm telling you, somebody just broke in. Can't you go take them out? So anyway, so I told him what I did. And, he was kind of shocked and like, oh my gosh. And, it's funny because I was told by the realtors that, oh my gosh, I could make tons of money, because up in these small towns where they're vacation properties, apparently squatting that happens like daily. And they're like, oh my gosh, you could sell your service up here and make a killing off of getting squatters out of these homes, which, I'm not doing that for a living, but it was actually fun to do it. I won't lie about that. I'm glad it was successful. We were able to sell the home. And after I actually spoke with the sheriff, at that point, we filed a paper. He had me sign a paper that basically gave authorization to the sheriff's department. If they see anyone in the house at all, they are to arrest and ask questions later and call me. So
that's pretty much the end of it. You guys can watch this if you want. I'll just point out one last thing. There's a buddy of mine. He used to be a cop. He works with me here. And he explained that's an authorization to act. And basically, you can file those, but you need to do some things. I think you need to be that there might be a time limit on it. You also need to post no trespassing signs. If you are going to have contractors working there, you probably need to provide them a letter signed saying that you authorize them to perform work on this day or until complete. And also maybe in this case, you probably want some vacant property insurance too, if the property is going to be vacant. So just in case squatters do get in there, or pipe bursts or something. And you probably, if you could have cameras, maybe a closed circuit camera with a battery backup, if you want to go that far, or maybe you have the power on because you're performing work, so then you can install a router and some Ring cameras. Just like food for thought. I thought this was an interesting, entertaining video, and I was like, man, I got to share this with other landlords. Maybe we can learn from this. So I hope this was good for you guys. Just let me know if you had any questions or anything, and I'll provide the link in the description so you can watch it too or share it with other people. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.